Hello, chat. I am here. Let's get things started. Let's get things sexy. Don't know what I meant by that, but I'm here. I'm streaming. I missed a stream last week. My brain was broken. It does that. It's broken now, but now it's broken in a different way. So we'll see if it being broken impacts today's stream. So welcome, one and all. And by that I mean me, because I literally just started. I would be very surprised if there were other people here other than me and this bot doing its thing. So we are streaming. I have a vague idea of what I want to do today with my stream, so progress. I have vague ideas for a lot of streams, but whether I do them is another question. So hopefully we can do what we need to do. It is a problem. One of the things that I would like to get covered in today's stream is, as mentioned in my I am a vampire. One of the things I would like to do in this stream is I need to solve a problem, because it occurred to me recently, and by recently I mean like less than 24 hours ago, that one of my follower goals, I don't have subs, follower goals, is at a certain point, I don't remember when, I probably should have researched this before I went into stream, is that I would be doing a Subnautica stream, because I have severe thalassophobia due to nearly drowning as a child. It's a fun experience. 10 out of 10, recommend. That was a joke. Do not drown yourself. That is bad. But I have had that experience, and because of that, basically anything to do with underwater freaks me out. So that's not fun. And so I have Subnautica as a follower goal of mine, because I feel like that would make good viewing if I were to wear like a heart rate monitor and do that. However, slight problem that occurred to me after I attempted in the last stream I was on to do quarantine zone gameplay was that turns out my computer's a bit shit. So I did not, in fact, have much gameplay of that one, because it was just like constant lag. So that wasn't great. So I would probably not be, and that's the thing, I can play Quarantine Zone fine off stream. I can play Subnautica fine, but anxious off stream. As soon as I throw a stream into it, that's when things get glitchy. So I may not be able to potentially do my Subnautica goal once I get to that. However, I would like to have a backup. I still would like to do the Subnautica goal when it gets to that point. But due to the not goodness of my computer's ability to run both OBS and a game of any kind of technical ability, I would like to have a backup, because, well, I feel like that would not be a very exciting stream if I went into it and basically you just got a slideshow. It would be a scary slideshow, for me at least, because of, underwater fish and stuff, but it still would be a slideshow. So for today, I would still like to play. I'll probably play some Mass Effect. I'm thinking I might play some Mass Effect eventually. But the first thing that I need to do is I would like to create a list of some backups for some games that I can play that will probably freak me out due to being underwater. Because, wow, that was so Australian. Going past that. So Subnautica freaks me out. I get anxious in the shallows. That is not a great start, but it would be an entertaining stream. So I am ideally looking for something with a similar vibe to that when I'm actually playing. I had a quick look before stream, but I would like to get the opinions of anyone who might pop into chat of any other potential alternatives that might work as suitable streams to freak out a thalassophobic, i.e. me. I feel like there is a lot of options there. I don't know how many of them my computer can play. Like I said, I can play Subnautica fine off stream, but I can't do it super great with a stream. So that complicates things a little bit. And so we would like to find something to play. I don't know why I am brushing my hair this early in the stream. But anyway, don't worry about it. I will find a way that my hair will sit, and I will be happy with it. I'm actually pretty happy with how it sits now. That'll last about 30 seconds, I'm sure, because my hands just like to touch things when it's under my own control. Hey! I like this song. Anyway, that's not why we're watching today. We're not watching for the music, although if you are enjoying the music, feel free to drop me a follow. This is a playlist that I created. I don't yet have a bot set up for it because, well, I don't really have enough people to add it to make it a playlist with a bot. But this is mine, and this playlist is like 16 hours long, so I think we got enough for now anyway. If you have any suggestions, feel free to let me know. I will potentially add them onto the playlist, provided they're not like, just like, if they're not like AI songs and they're not just like racism, it's probably fine. But for the meantime, enjoy my 16-hour fucking playlist. So, as I said, we are looking for games that would freak out a thalassophobic that will not overly strain my PC. I do already have Iron Lung. I've actually played it once before. I don't remember when I played it because my computer doesn't recognize me as having played it. But I know I have played it. So I could not tell you when or how I have played that game. But according to Steam, I've never owned it before. But according to the fractured remains of my memory, I have. I don't know why that is something my memory hold on to. Actually, I do. My memory is amazing at holding on to trauma. Iron Lung being based under a sea of blood with freaky sea monsters and shit probably didn't help with that. But I do have Iron Lung on my list already. I may actually play that next stream, potentially. Because, like, I saw the movie recently, and I enjoyed the movie. And I will probably play the game again, and I'll probably watch the movie again when it comes to some sort of home viewing. Excuse me. But I will play Iron Lung eventually, so I have that on my list already. But I would like to create a little bit more of a list. And ideally, potentially, kind of see if my computer can handle it. I won't be playing them today because I need to look in to see if my computer can handle it on stream. If it's even remotely struggling off stream, it's not happening. But if it runs smoothly off stream, there is a good chance I may be able to play it on stream without killing the stream itself, because that would be bad. So we don't want to do that. But yeah, I have Subnautica. I've played a little bit of it. I don't know how much I would play even if it was working. I would probably limit it to a one stream thing, unless like if my computer worked and handled it, I would probably play it more. But in the meantime, I probably won't, because I'll probably keep it to one stream because my heart can only take so much. And like I said, I feel like nearly drowning is a pretty good reason to not want to be underwater. I don't know why I felt the need to repeat that. But we are looking for games. If I have anyone in chat with any suggestions, at any point, feel free to pop in with those suggestions, because I would like some options, because I would like to still make it entertaining for you guys. That is literally the point of these streams, is to at least attempt to be entertaining. Due to the way that my brain works, I never know if I'm actually being entertaining or not. I hope I am, but anytime I attempt to actively be entertaining, it falls flat. So I just kind of go with whatever I'm doing and hope that that works out to be entertaining. Sometimes it actually does. I can never predict when that actually works, but apparently sometimes I'm actually funny. Who knew? I sure didn't. It's really annoying. So, games, fish, underwater. Let's go. That is not fish games. Sorry, I just was looking at my thing here. I've completely forgotten what I was. Where's my window gone? There it is. I will need, that is not the right button. That one. Let's try that again. Hey, there we go. So, we'll see how things look there. Okay, that's... I don't know what that was. But, so we're looking at... Well, I want to say this, I'm not looking at fish yet, but I may be. Sorry, don't mind me fucking around with my settings. It does that sometimes. That's better. Cool. Okay, I think. I don't know. Can we see everything? Brilliant. That is the main thing. As long as you guys can see what the hell I'm doing. So, cool. So we'll keep it simple first. Fish games. Let's see what fish game. That is not the fish game I was looking for. Scary fish games. There are definitely better ways that I can word this, but in the meantime, these are funnier. So, scary fish games. Top titles include Dredge. Dredge is a scary fish game. Kind of. I did like... Oh, I have Dredge, actually. That could work. I've finished it already, but when I played it last time, I played it on, like... Not like... I don't think it's, like, easy mode. It was just, like, I was playing it on story mode, essentially. Because, like, I wanted to be able to play it, but at the same time, I did also want to be able to finish it. Because if I didn't finish it, I would be super annoyed. So I feel like I did miss out on some of the scary fish monsters because of that particular... I didn't miss out on all the scary fish monsters, but I did miss out on some of them. But that was a particularly unsettling game. So let's have a look. Okay, I'm not doing that one just because I don't really do much with regards to, like, multiplayer stuff. So for now, we're going to look for just, like, non-multiplayer scary fish games. Ideally not as a YouTube video. Please stop giving me fucking YouTube video suggestions. Okay, let's go with scary underwater games. I've tried scary fish games. Now let's try scary underwater games. Any good aquatic horror? Oh, it's Reddit. Okay, Reddit, that's fair. Like, Reddit could be a good option for... Reddit can be a good option for finding answers for things, as long as you can avoid, like, the assholes. So, fear of deep water, okay, relatable. Subnautica, absolutely horrifying to play for me. Easily one of the scariest games. Definitely go back to finish that game. Is this? Did I write this at some point? This is very. I'm relating to this a lot. Does Soma take place underwater? Massive existential. Got spoiled on the ending. That's fine. I know of Soma. That could be another one. And BioShock. See, now that is BioShock underwater? I feel like it's in like an. I feel like it's in an underwater city or something, but I don't feel like it's not the level of underwater that I am looking for. I think. So, Echo the Dolphin, God, okay. So, funny story. I'm old. That's not the funny part, but it's, I was around when Echo was a thing, and that was a pain in the ass to play. Because as Rent-A-Donkey said 3 years ago here, it starts off all cute and, fun because, you're a dolphin. You're traveling around the ocean as a dolphin. Then it turns into aliens and Lovecrafty shit. So that got messed up real quick. It's an enjoyable game, but it gets messed up real quick. So we have... if I could find actually, I need to write a fucking list. Because I did not write this down, and I really should be. So, notepad, where is my notepad? Because I need to start writing some of these things down. Because, oh good, sorry, I thought something had opened that you could see, and it would have been really awkward because it was super doxing. Luckily, no, you can just see this, which works well for me. So that's a benefit. So we want fish games. So we have Iron Lung. I've kind of already said that. We have, what was the other one? I saw someone saying something about Soma. I might add Soma to the list because I don't know much about it, but I know that it is like underwater freakiness. So that could work. That could work to freak me out as a potential option. So we have that going for us. And what else? I didn't mean to go back on that one. Echo the Dolphin. Yeah, I'm going to add that just because it's just like, if I can find a copy of that one to show you guys, because it is a freaky game. It gets freaky. So, Echo the Dolphin, cool. Dredge Replay, because I played that one all by myself. And I'm pretty sure I still own that game. So, on the plus side, I don't need to buy more stuff, which is always a bonus, because I don't want to have to buy them too much if I can help it. Sunless Sea. What is Sunless Sea? Oh, I didn't mean to go. Oh, fuck. Right. Okay. Okay. I don't know about that. I mean, it works. The fact that it got that reaction out of me tells me it would probably freak me out. So I'm going to have a quick look at Sunless Sea. It looks disconcerting by a lot. So, okay. Okay, it's not too bad. I'm waiting for the freaky underwater fish stuff. Oh, okay. Yep, well, that's a good start. I believe there's a name for that, just that look. I think it's submechanophobia. I don't know if I have that one. I think I just have a general fear of shit under the water. Because I've seen some things out there. I don't know if they technically count as some mechanophobia, but you know what? I am going to add Sunless Sea to my list because that looks terrifying to me, at least. So just so I can, oh, that doesn't look good. So I am going to, so who in chat knows what submechanophobia is? Because I do, and it does not go well with thalassophobia. So I'm pretty sure there is even like a Reddit for this sort of stuff. I mean, there's, of course there would be, but let's have a little look, because like, I don't know, something about this, maybe less so this one, but this sort of stuff freaks me out. Because I'm just like, see, what is this? Like, I feel like I'm going to drown just looking at these. This is not great for me. I should probably have a heart monitor right now, because maybe not that one. That just looks like someone hasn't looked after their basement. But like this sort of stuff, like even to an extent, the like Titanic footage, that's freaky. That freaks me out. Like, I know that it's like, it's fine, but it still freaks me out. And because there's what is it? There's a few different submechanophobia. There's a few specific items that I would like to see if anyone else has the same sort of reaction. So, for example, there is a sculpture somewhere in the world. I do not remember what it's called. That thing. What the fuck? I am not doing well looking at that right now, because what the fuck? That is a sculpture. It was made for a movie, and they thought it would be really fucking funny to just leave it at the bottom of a lake. Because what the fuck? There is also another one that's like, that's also freaky, but I don't know. That looks a lot worse for me. Like my toes are like cringing up underneath my chair right now. That is how much this is affecting me. So that is why we are looking for freaky underwater games, because even looking at this shit is enough to set my anxiety off, not in a good way. So it was not fun looking at this sort of stuff. And I guess I'm kind of trying to intentionally find more of that. So Sunless Sea, that looks pretty good. And what is barotrauma? I have never heard of that game. Okay, no, I should probably specify. Because barotrauma is an actual word. I'm aware of that. Oh, it's a co-op game? Okay, I don't know if that's quite what I'm after. Like, it's a submarine simulator, so that part of things works well for the submarine simulator side of things could be good. But at the same time, I am I feel like there, oh no, there it is. I was gonna say I'm not seeing much of the underwater aspect, because that's ultimately the part that's going to impact me more, is the underwater side of things. So okay, it's not great that this isn't loading. There we go. You know what? I'll add it to my list as a maybe, but it's not like it's a soft maybe. I feel like I've got so many other options that could work for this one. So, but Super Mario World, okay, not quite. Iron Lung, I already have that, and I have played that, and I will play it again, but maybe not for that stream. And They Breathe. I have not heard of that one. Let's have a look at that. That name is extremely ominous, so let's see how the rest of it goes. It's a short journey into the depths of a forest filled with water. It's a small indie game. Figure out the rules of an insidious ecosystem where nothing is as it seems and everyone is trying to breathe. That makes sense. So, we have... I don't know what to make of this. Don't need realistic to tell a horrifying story. Okay. Surreal atmosphere, no hand-holding. Story told through gameplay. Apparently it's scarred Markiplier for life, so that is a promising sign, given that that is also the man who made a movie about another game that scarred him for life. So, I guess I need to add this one to my list as well, because I wouldn't necessarily have considered it to be like an overly scary game. But all of this other stuff that I'm seeing kind of tells me it is. It may not be like a full stream of this one, but this seems like it could be like a good, just kind of jump into it kind of game. Wow, this game is over 10 years old. That is disconcerting. So I'll add that to my other list. They breathe, maybe. I mean, I'm sure they're trying to breathe. That's not the part I'm saying maybe about. So we have that one. That is an option. So we'll see how that goes. Soma, I already added that to my list, didn't I? I did. That was like the second thing after Iron Lung. Sunless Sea. I've added that. I might have to add that on because I feel like my computer could handle that and streaming. Subnautica is already on my list, and that is like the game I would like to be playing. But we'll have to wait and see on that one because we need to ideally have something that works for the stream. So if Subnautica causes my stream to just like fall into a slideshow, then I'm gonna need some options. Soma is entirely underwater. There's also Silt and Dredge. Dredge I've already looked at, so I've already added that one. Silt. Let's have a look at Silt, shall we? That is not how we look at Silt. So again, if anyone has any suggestions in chat, feel free to let me know. I am looking for games that would freak out someone with thalassophobia. Thalassophobia being a fear of the deep ocean and what is in it. Silt, dive into a surreal ocean abyss. Okay, that's a promising start. What have we got? Okay, well, I mean, I'm liking the art style. That'll do it. That will do it. Okay. Why is there a giant floating vagina? Okay. Anyway. Oh, cool. There's goat monsters. That is exactly what you want to see underwater. Why does the word underwater come out so Australian for me? Okay. Never mind that. So, we have... This looks suitably freaky. Oh, it's an underwater city because he's still, like, floating and stuff. Silt is definitely going on the list. We're definitely doing that one. Okay. One of the most beautiful adventure games of 2022. Beautiful is maybe not how I would describe it. Oh, you can control the fish. Interesting. I don't like that. I don't like that. But that is the reaction that I want for my game. So that is promising. So I've seen BioShock come up a couple of times, but like I know BioShock is a good game, but I don't know if I would necessarily classify it as like a scary underwater game because I don't know. I'm not feeling it for BioShock. I have BioShock at the very least. I think I have Infinity, I think. So we have a game we can play with that one. So that is something. Narcosis. The vast ocean itself becomes a bigger threat in Narcosis as opposed to Soma. I have never heard of this game. Narcosis. Steam. I'm assuming Steam. I just default to Steam because it's the first one that comes to mind. Survival horror at the sunless depths of the Pacific Ocean. Stranded on the seafloor with low light and few tools, an industrial diver takes desperate steps to surface before his oxygen and sanity give out. Well, I've already lost my sanity, so I've just got to work for my oxygen. This looks like it could be good, but I don't... It's from 2017. My computer may be able to handle it. Oh, God. Okay. That's a picture. That is definitely a picture. So, I am going to add this one to my list, and it's extremely uncomfortable for me to look at. So that is a promising sign that that could be a good backup game for Subnautica. I may need to potentially look and see if it's like going to kill my computer. But I've found with my computer, games that are generally about 10 years old are usually fine to run. So theoretically, that should be okay to run that and stream. If it was made like within the last few years, it's one or the other. If it's made more than 10 years ago, we're probably fine. Maybe. Maybe. If we do figure it out, that's fine. Oh, it's not overly expensive as well, which is nice. I'm assuming this, I don't know if this is an Australian or American, I don't know. But it's not super expensive either way. So that is also going on the list. I'm actually getting a much bigger list than I was expecting. Scary fish games is a much bigger niche than I thought it was. Stranded Deep. I feel like I might have actually I've either played Stranded Deep or I've seen someone play Stranded Deep. Because it feels really, like that name feels really familiar. Okay, no, I'm definitely thinking of a different game then. Because that one, the game I am thinking of is entirely underwater. There is no above the water sections, at least not in the part I played. So, hello, welcome to the stream. Thank you, Dior, or Rios. I'm going to call you Dior. I hope that's okay. Thank you for the stream. Thank you for joining the stream, I should say. Right now, I'm trying to find scary fish games that my computer can play, as I've got a follower goal much further on in my streaming journey to play Subnautica. But it occurred to me recently that my computer is crap, and it can either play Subnautica or it can stream, but it probably won't be able to do both. So I'm trying to come up with some backup ones. Or some backup games that ideally will not kill my computer. This one looks like it might be too new. It will probably kill my computer. And that's a little bit disappointing. But you never know. How are you doing? How's your day been? I'm hoping it's been good if you're watching streams. If not, I'm hoping it gets better. So thank you for joining me. So at the moment, I've got a little bit of a list of games to look into off stream as potential options for when I eventually get to that particular follower goal. I want to have backups because otherwise it's going to be a really disappointing stream, and I would like to be entertaining for that stream, and I have quite bad thalassophobia, and it's Still Wakes the Deep, if it counts. No, that counts. I'll have a look at that one. I don't have that on my list yet, so so we'll have a look. Oh, I know this one. I haven't played it, but I know this one. And oh god, that is a picture. That is, well, you know what? It goes on the list. It goes on the list. I'm gonna close that picture. So I'm gonna add it to my list because I need to look and see if it'll work on my computer well enough to not kill a stream. And so far, my list is growing a lot quicker than I thought, because apparently scary fish games are a lot more common than I first realized. Which is funny because I've actually played some of these ones, so I don't know why I'd forgotten about them. Because I've got Iron Lung, I already own Iron Lung, so I've got that, which is fine. That's probably not going to be saved for this specific stream. Oh, it's the DLC. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Because I mean, it's still based out in the ocean, so let's have a look. Iron Lung. Well, the Iron Lung, the game that the movie was adapted from. So it was a game from a little while ago, and it largely got famous because of Markiplier's gameplay footage on his YouTube channel, and then he loved it so much he made a movie out of it, and I think that's actually really impressive. But I've got the game and I've played the game. I would like to play it again potentially, but not for whatever I'm saving, like this follower stream one that I'm currently working on, or I say working on, creating backups for. It still looks like it could be kind of freaky though. Let's have a look at this one, because if it's the DLC, then this could be. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, that could work. Like I said, I would have to see if it would kill my computer or not. But that would work for what I'm going for, which is freaky underwater crap. And yeah, this would definitely fall under freaky underwater crap. I kind of want to potentially even play this one outside of stream, just because I have a feeling I may not be able to run both stream and game on this one, which is it's a little disappointing, because the graphics look quite good on this one, but I feel like it may potentially kill my stream, which is a little disappointing. But thank you for the suggestion nonetheless. I had forgotten that Still Wakes the Deep was... I've seen it, but I've never actually played it. So that could work. And that'll work. So I'm kind of just working through a list of suggestions for other alternatives. So at the moment, yeah, I've got Iron Lung. I've got Soma. I know of Soma. I've never actually played it, but I know it's a freaky game. And it looks mildly terrifying, the fact that it has to... Sure, let's say I'm born in 1970. I'm not. I would look amazing for someone who was born in 1970. But I'm not born in 1970, so load it already. So we have... So there's a sci-fi horror game set underneath the Atlantic Ocean. And yeah, I got this to look forward to potentially. I don't know why my computer is taking so long to load these pictures. They are pictures. They are not even particularly complex pictures. Oh, okay. Yep. So that is why Soma is on my list. Uh, now this one may sound a little out of left field, but Echo the Dolphin. It was a game from the 90s. I played it a little bit. I was very, very young when it came out. So it's a deceptive game in that, like, you look at Echo the Dolphin, it looks like a dolphin. It looks like a kid's game. And then you get this. That is not a kid's game when you're starting the game like this. You start the game, it's just like I think it's like an environmental message about, like, saving the ocean and that sort of thing. And then it turns into a sci-fi horror game with you still playing a dolphin. And I kind of want to play that one because it looks very interesting. I don't think I ever made it that far when I played it in the game because it was much like a lot of games of that time, they are not great for controls. It's kind of if you miss one step, you are dead kind of game. And that, well, I don't know if I love that, but I've added that one just because it's kind of like it's an out of left field option for those who don't know about it. And so I've added that to my list. I just potentially need to find a way to play it. I don't know if I need... That's your vote? Fair enough. It'll probably get played at some point. I'm not sure when, but if I can find a way to play it, I may have to potentially find like an emulator or something to play that one, because I don't know if that's available on like Steam, or maybe it's in there like I don't know, like a retro gaming pack or something. It's probably something you're curious. Fair enough. Well, that's good. That is good to know. That's why I've added it to my list. Because like I said, it starts off like that, and you just get happy little dolphins trying to make their way through and taking down people who are trying to, I don't know, harm the fish. And then somehow aliens and monsters come into it. That part, I don't actually remember how that came into the story. But that is good to know, because if I get to this Subnautica stream and it doesn't work, I will probably be taking votes. So that is good to know. There is a vote for Echo the Dolphin. It is an odd game. A lot of 90s games were, we have Dredge, that one, I've played a little bit of that one. Well, actually, no, I've played the whole thing short of the DLC. But I played it on story mode, essentially, because I wanted to finish the story. I didn't want to have to risk dying every single time I left port, because that is a very real possibility in this game. Because, like, look at these environments and imagine a giant tentacle monster now sticking out of it. Hey, hi, hello, we're coming in for it to keep the streak alive, practically go to bed. Fair enough. It is probably about that time of night for you guys. So that is all good. We are looking at alternatives for Subnautica, because I do have Subnautica as my stream, as a follower goal thing for much further in my streaming journey. However, my computer is not great, and there is a good chance it may not potentially be able to handle Subnautica and a game. So I am looking at some backup options for playing that game that will suitably set off my thalassophobia, because that is the point of that follower goal, is to freak me out. And Subnautica just seemed like the easiest one because I've played it a little bit, so I know it's going to set off my anxiety. So far we have Iron Lung, because I already have that game and I know it's like kind of freaky. We have Soma, which is also kind of freaky. Echo the Dolphin, which I was just talking about, which is a bit out of left field, because you start the game as a dolphin doing this sort of shit in the game, and then you get towards the end of the game and you are fighting these things. And that is a little weird and freaky. And we have, as you saw when you came in, we have Dredge, because I've played a little bit of Dredge, but I could probably afford to play it not in story mode, because I played it in story mode last time so that I could actually finish the game, because I did not love my odds of surviving the monsters in the game otherwise. And Sunless Sea, which is kind of similar to Dredge, but seems a little bit more horrifying. Weird a bit. Oh, it is. It is a 90s video game. There is a lot of that in 90s video game, but this is the first one that comes to mind when it comes to underwater weird shit for that sort of gameplay. Because, yes, starting like this, la-di-da-di-da, very nice and easy. Echo's Dolphin, let's just go into that one. And now you're fighting giant monster alien creatures. So that is also on my list. I would need to find a way to actually play it, because it's not a really common game now, given that it came out in the 90s and has, to my knowledge, not been remastered. We have Barotrauma as a maybe. We have They Breathe as a maybe. We have Silt, because I like the art style of Silt, but it's still suitably freaky as an underwater game. So it looks like this. Does Maneater count? Maybe. I've played a little bit of Maneater. I think I actually may have that one. I'll add that to my list as well. I don't remember that. I don't remember too much of that one. So I'm going to add that one as a maybe, because you are playing as a shark. So that's definitely a maybe. Definitely a maybe. That is a very counterintuitive sentence. So I've added that one. Because, like, look at this game. Look at this game. That is 100% going to set me off. So that is a good backup. Something called Narcosis, which looks freaky as... Because, like, look at this. I don't know if my computer may or may not be able to handle it, because this game is nearly 10 years old. So I may be able to potentially play this game. Subnautica is still the goal, but I kind of want backup games, just in case, so that I have an option in case my computer decides to shit itself when it's playing the stream. And this looks like it'll do it. So I have some options, because it occurred to me when in my last stream, I attempted to play Quarantine Zone, because I can play Quarantine Zone, the game, on my computer, off stream, relatively fine. However, I don't have a... when I tried to play it on stream, it did not go well. It was extremely laggy and was basically just an audio slideshow, essentially. So that was less than ideal for a stream. Unless people are into that, but that's not the point of that, because that's not cool. But we have a few options now. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got like 11 different things on this list as potential backup ones now, which is actually extremely handy. And also handy is the fact that I'm pretty sure I have 2 of them. So that could be a very affordable option for me. So we have that. And so that's actually quite handy. I have a list now, which is good, because I needed a list, because I needed if I didn't work on it now, I was going to forget about it. And then eventually I would get close to that goal and be like, oh shit, I don't know if I can actually play that. And then I'd have a panic attack, and then the game falls apart. And then what do I do with that? I got nothing I can do with that. So that's not great. So I have options now. So that's kind of the main thing now. So that's good, because I like to be prepared. I can't prepare for everything, but if I can prepare for as much as I can, then that's great. So at least with this one, because I'm not going to look too deeply into the games themselves, because I don't want them to be like spoiled, but I'm going to look into them enough to see if my computer can handle them. And if they're struggling off stream, there's no chance they're going to work on stream. If they play okay off stream, they're probably still going to struggle on stream. But if they play smoothly off stream, there is a good chance we might have a game. So I think that sounds pretty good. So I'm very glad that I've, looked into that. What's going on with my hair? It's a wash day for my hair, and I'm very kind of aware of it because I haven't washed it yet. I was going to do it last night, but then it got late and I got lazy, so it didn't happen. It still looks fine. I'm just aware of it. But we've done that. We've made our list. That is more preparation than I was planning to do. At some point after stream, I do have more pre-affiliate designing to do, is probably the best way to put it, because I keep procrastinating from it. I really got to stop doing that. It's not great to keep procrastinating too much from that sort of thing. And I've come up with several ideas. I've come up with some variations, and as some of you may know, I have one of these. This is a clicker. Apologies if that did something. And so I have one of those, and I was saying in a previous stream, I kind of want to do something with that, because that seems like that could be a good stream option. And I think I've come up with an idea for a redeem for that one. When I do that, I may potentially, I may or may not need to, because I've taken it off for the moment, because realistically, I have this stream listed as 18+, but realistically, at this point, it's not. But it's still early days. It's still early days, and there are definitely some stories that I have that are not safe for work. So when I get to those stories, I will be putting those tags back on again. And the plan that I have for this redeem is, well, it's not safe for work, but it's not safe for work. That made no sense. And so going to be combining a little bit of the clicker there with I'm thinking a little bit of affirmations for chat. If I get up real close and personal and how's it going, chat? Hope you've all been good. Hope you're all being very cool and sexy. You clearly are, because you're watching my stream. So combining that with the chat there, with the clicker, I think I got something going there. So it's still a work in progress, because I gotta get my average up, but eventually we'll be able to have some fun with it. I also will have some workout redeems potentially, because I'm not unfit, but I would like to be more fit, and I need to be held accountable. So I feel like that's a good way to do it, because otherwise my exhaustion tends to take it out of me, and then nothing happens. So then we don't get the exercise done. Sorry, my hair is annoying me. That took about an hour. That took longer than I thought it would. I was honestly expecting for my hair to get annoying a lot earlier in the stream. Got my gamer subs though, because I'm getting a bit thirsty. I mean, I should be more used to talking, because my job is literally my 9 to 5 job is literally talking. So I should be more used to talking than I am. So I'm surprised that although to be fair, I haven't had water in like an hour and a half, so that doesn't help me. I have a cat that I heard little footsteps and she just ran out of the room. Okay. That is not a great start. So we have that. So the cat will also, funnily enough, be part of the redeems. And I think I can make her want to be more into it because one of those redeems is going to be treats. And she goes fucking mental for those treats. So we have some ideas for that. So we have some ideas for the redeems, and so that's all good. I would design them on stream, but much like with the playing with the games, my art program has an annoying habit of crashing. And when I say crashing, not just the program itself, it crashes the whole system. I don't want to have to restart. I'm already going. I don't want to have to go again. So we have. There will be art. It will be scuffed because I have not been a graphic designer in like 15 years. So I don't know where I pulled that number from. That's what year is it even? 2026. What does that make? Okay, maybe not quite 15 years. I'm trying to pull from memories. I don't know why I'm trying to pull from memories. I have like full-on PTSD amnesia. I'm missing like 80% of the memories in my head. I don't know why I was trying to pull any kind of memories out of that one, because that was never going to happen. But it's been a while since I've properly made use of my graphic design skills. I've had them. Whether I can still use them is anyone's guess. So to start with, there are some aspects of my stream that I will be making myself. To start with, at least, because like I want it to be like, I want it to feel like a me thing. And at the very least, like don't do that. And at the very least, doing a few of these things myself, that is a good way to make it feel like a me thing. So there will be art. There will be some emotes. I've got a couple of them. I've got an idea or two for some more. I have to actually make them first. They're not really relevant yet, but they will be eventually, if I actually get around to making them, that is. So we have that. Ugh, I'm overheating already. That is not great. This top is surprisingly warm. Oh, it feels so good. Ugh. Should have charged for that. Gonna go to sleep. See you next time. Thank you for joining me, King. I appreciate that. Nonetheless, as brief as the visit was, it was still a visit, and I appreciate that. So you go get some rest. Go get some sleep. Say hi to Angel for me. And I will probably start playing a game soon, because that's one of the things on my title, and I figure I should actually do one of them. She chat back. Nice. Oh, you've got your emote. I forgot you had that emote still. That's pretty cool. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you as well, Angel. For those others who may be watching, Angel is King's bird, as you can probably guess by the emote. Keep it for eternity, as you should. It is a quality picture, and so I've successfully completed one half of my stream title, which is solving problems. The problem being finding a potential alternative for Subnautica if Subnautica does not work when I want to stream. So we've solved that with a list of like a dozen other games, most of which should actually work for me on stream. That is really cool. That is really cool and sexy. And I'm really hoping that is the case. But there is a reason that one is very far along on my Twitch journey. Let's have a look, because I have actually forgotten how far down this is. So where is, because I have a list. It is on my about page on Twitch. So I've forgotten what a lot of my things are. I should probably know what they are before I actually hit them. So, okay, don't load the actual fucking stream, Jesus. That is not what I wanted to do. I don't have to load the stream, I'm already in it. So, wow, my internet does not like me doing other things other than streaming. And we are going to wait. So, 10 followers, we've hit that. 20 followers, we've hit that. There's my stream goal for that one, was to eat a lemon on the stream. I did. It completely destroyed my makeup, which I really should have seen coming, given that it was literally me eating a big bowl of citric acid. I'm not sure why I was surprised by that. It was also not fun, but at least I wasn't going to get scurvy. So that's good. My next one is 50 followers, where I have Bean Boozled. So for those who don't know what that is, there is a brand of jelly beans, and they make a game as such where they have jelly beans. The jelly beans, there is one color, two flavors. For a lot of, well, there's several different colors. Each of them, there are two flavors. One is a regular flavor, like, bubblegum or lemonade or licorice. And then those same colors have alternative flavors, like wax or vomit, or they're the main ones that I remember. But so I'm going to be so that will be my 50 goal stream, my 50 follower stream. 100 followers, I make my Discord active. I have a Discord, it's just not public yet. 200 followers, that's where the Subnautica comes into it. So I've got a little bit of time before I have to worry about that one. There is a reason for that, because it's like, it's going to be quite stressful, and I feel like you guys need to earn it. 250, going to be eating some more gross stuff. I don't know why I set so many of my goals to be gross food related. I really don't. 500 followers, that's where everybody gets to have fun, because that's going to be a French made stream, but that is literally 10 times more followers than I currently have. So that's going to be a little while. That also gives me time to actually get like a proper French made outfit, because I don't have one of those. I have aspects of an outfit. It would not be safe for streaming. It is very much not safe for streaming. So I would need a safe for streaming French made outfit. I'm pretty sure one of them is on my throne, but I haven't got it yet. I got time. I got time, baby. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. So we got it. That's fine. But I'm kind of looking forward to that one, and I feel like by that point, others will be as well. So that's fine. Sorry, I was just imagining what that stream was going to look like. Looks like fun. So that's all good. So yes, we have solved the problem of what if my Subnautica does not work, because I now have many, many other games to choose from, some of which I may even play off stream, because they look like they could be fun, as anxiety-inducing as they are. So, the next thing on that list is... excuse me, that was weak. I have not had enough carbonated beverages. This isn't carbonated, but it is a beverage. This is Gamer Subs, by the way. Use code RAVEN at checkout for 10% off. I don't need to be shilling that. I don't make any money out of it, but at least someone can. That is really refreshing. I do not think I've had enough water today. So that is something. So, in the meantime, let's play a game. Now, as it is Monday, my general Monday goal, or game, I should say, is Mass Effect. And unlike my last Monday stream, where I kind of just wasn't feeling it, which I guess ties into the fact that I have, like, my brain was broken on Friday, and that's probably connected. So we're going to play potentially a little bit of Mass Effect, because I'm kind of feeling it a little bit again this day. To this day? That was unnecessarily verbose. That was also unnecessarily verbose. So, we're going to play a little bit of Mass Effect. We're going to have some fun, hopefully. And eventually, I'm hoping that I will be able to get far enough into the game that I can start romancing my companions. Because isn't that what the game's all about? Romancing the companions. Sure, you've got to save the universe. But if we can romance the companions, and everybody wins. Because I'm happy, the companions are happy, we're all running at peak happiness, which means that we are more likely to be able to save the universe. That is the logic that I am looking at. Wow, just went straight in on the Australian there. Got to go full on there, mate. Got to go way back in there. You got to go super nasal for it. It also kind of is one of the few ways I can masculinize my voice these days, because my voice naturally, like, even before I did any kind of voice training, my voice sat naturally androgynous. It was like on the edge of sort of, it was like feminine with resonance is probably the best way to do it. My vocal coach told me I had a very flexible voice. But because I have been talking like this for so long, being able to drop that, I'm going to be completely honest. Okay. What? Okay, I'm curious. So you're British? That is all good. That is all good. No, I mean, I get, like, the time of day as well probably isn't helping, because I know that it is, like, late night in Britain at the moment, and this is, well, this particular stream is largely just because it's one of the few days that I have off consistently. So, but no, that is all good. I do not take offense to being considered British. My accent as well, because like my voice is very kind of flexible in terms of pitch and resonance, but my accent is very variable. So I can see why that would come across as British. I don't tend to lean too heavily on the Australian. I can. I generally don't, though. But it's... I mostly just do that for, like, the bit. But, yeah, because that's actually kind of a... Well, it was a funny story, but I don't know if it's necessarily still funny for me, but it's... So I have a dissociative condition, either DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, or OSDD, which is like the sister sibling of it. I used to be very good with accents. Like, I could just switch between them as needed. But since having a flare-up of that condition last year, it kind of basically became a thing where, like, as soon as I would switch into a different accent, a different part of my brain would latch onto that accent, and then the main part of my brain could no longer use that accent. It was really annoying. So if you hear me using, like, if you hear me properly using another accent, there is a good chance that there is someone else sitting close to the front there. Because I have largely lost the ability to use other accents outside of variations of this. And it's kind of funny, but it's also really annoying because I miss being able to do accents. But that's okay, because I got a dozen other people in here who can do the accents for me. So I know that is a weird thing to kind of, it's for people who don't writing it down so don't forget, fair enough. That is all good. But it's the but yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I used to be really good at it, and it's actually kind of annoying now because I liked being able to do that. But now, thank you childhood trauma, now I've lost my ability to actively use other accents. Or at least I lose access to those accents. But like I said, they're still in there. I just can't use them. Others can. So there has been 1 or 2 streams where I have, for lack of a better word, switched on the stream and not realized it because my accent went a lot more British. I was watching back one of my last VODs and there was a section there where my voice got a lot more British. And I was like, oh, okay, that wasn't me. So, yes, I take no offense to being considered British. So, English, however, no, I'm kidding. That's okay. I have friends in England and like the UK, and so like talking with them as well, that probably also influences my accent a little bit sometimes. I would not be surprised. I don't know if it does, but aforementioned accent stealing in here probably has occurred somewhat from them. So that doesn't help me. I mean, it kind of helps me, but it doesn't help me. So I have that going for me. Hooray for mental illness. That is not something to say hooray to, but sure. Anyway. It's a weird situation to be in with DID or OSDD or whatever thing is going on in here. It's under diagnosis, but that shit takes years to diagnose. So it's just kind of, it is what it is at this rate, so I keep fidgeting, and I don't know why. It's actually quite annoying. So, well, it's annoying for me. I hope it's not annoying for you guys, but I'm thinking, if I play a game, my hands are going to be occupied, so I'm less likely to be fidgeting. If you see where I'm going with that. Because that's, you know, that's the thing, is that I still want to be able to focus. And focus is not my strong suit these days. And it's also why, like, I had to cancel my last stream, because my brain was just not happening. I try not to have that happen too much, but there's only so much I can do about that one. And I have a cat who has just entered the room. Whether she decides she wants to be on camera, that is anyone's guess. She likes to just walk into my room and then walk out. Before I switch, is that a Leon Kennedy figure? Which one? This one? Or that one? Because I've like out of what I've got there, that is a My Hero Academia figure. Whose name next to the dice. That one is Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen that I've got on that one. And then the one in the box underneath it is Choso, also from Jujutsu Kaisen. I do like Leon Kennedy. So I could pretend, I'm gonna actually now after stream, I'm probably gonna now start looking at yes, no, I am familiar with his story, but his I've got him nonetheless. He's up there with being one of my favorites, even if I am aware of how that went for him. But it's but yes, it's I've actually got I've got a Throne, which if you're unfamiliar is a gifting platform, and I've added a figure to that one that I'm not expecting anyone to actually buy on that one, which is just like a life-sized Nanami bust. Because I'm just like, Just filter needs remembering to educate. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, but yes, he is up there being one of my favorites in that one. The Choso one, I like him as a character, but that one is actually, technically that's a gift for someone else due to complications in getting it to the other person. It's just going to stay here until I can get it to them. But it's it lives on the display as a reminder, so I don't forget that I still have to get it to them at some point, because that would be rude. No buy one $15. Wow, that's a pretty good deal. Actually, now that I think of it, he was probably not too much more than that. So I realized I was pointing in the wrong direction. That one. But yes, my collection will eventually grow bigger. Just a matter of time and money. I am an impulsive purchaser. It is a known problem. So there is a very good chance that I will add more to it. When I do that is anyone's guess. Not even I know the answer to that one. Because that is, yeah. Mental health is fun. And like I said, impulse control is apparently one of the parts impacted by that. So, because that is how I ended up doing an impromptu trip to England last year that was not budgeted. So now I'm currently paying that trip off for a little while. But yes, impulse control, not my strong suit right now. So we'll see how that goes in future. But I have, I will probably get more if I'm being... Oh my god, yeah, that was a pretty common response. Most people were not expecting me to do that. Not even me. Because, yeah, that was one of those ones that I kind of blame the DID a little bit on that one. Because it was kind of an impulse purchase, but like an impulse decision. Obviously, I wasn't going to just like straight up and go because I had to organize tickets and things. Did you have fun though? I did have fun. I went over there. At the time, it was for MCM Comic-Con for that one. I met up with a few people when I was over there. Really wish this top would just sit where I want it to. So I met up with a few people and saw some sights and took some photos and recorded some footage that I have never edited. I really should get onto that at some point. It's probably a bit too far gone now to be useful footage, but it's footage nonetheless, because much like with the other aspects of the mental health is that my memory is, as I mentioned before, shit. I basically, prior to last year, like 90% of my memories are gone, except for trauma, because apparently the brain stores them in an easy access memory pot that is different to the other memories. So I've got plenty of trauma memories. That's great stuff. And anything after that 12-month period, it's kind of 50-50 in terms of whether it sticks. So I was like, well, if I'm going to England, that's a pretty big thing to do. I might want to be able to actually remember that. So I have a lot of footage. I have not edited like 90% of that footage, because I want it to be usable. I don't know if it'll be usable for anyone other than me, but I would like to put it in some sort. It was more of a video diary as opposed to a vlog, and because there was like a little bit of vlogging going on there, but realistically it was mostly just me talking about my day at the end of the day. And again, it was probably more useful for me than anyone else, so I may just need to like put it together into footage for me. I would like to have put it up on YouTube as a vlog, because traveling with DID or something like that, but it's whether I do that is anyone's guess. But like I did do that, and that was fun, and I met up with some people, and that was fun. I would do it again, but ideally with a plan. Like ideally, if I can decide on this trip, like after I pay off the last trip, I can start saving for an actual trip, so I don't have to put it on a credit card that needs repaying later, which is good, ideally, because it was I enjoyed it. And I blame the DID, because it was one of those things where it had come up in a conversation that, like there was MCM Comic Con happening in a few months' time at that point. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that sounds good. And then the next day, I woke up to tickets in my email for MCM London. And I was like, oh, okay, apparently we're going now. I don't remember buying those tickets, but apparently someone in here really felt like it. And it was, after that, I was like, well, I've already got these tickets. I could go traveling. Was it the best thing to was it the financially responsible thing to do? No. 100% no, but it was fun. And realistically, like, that's my only source of debt, so I'll survive. And yeah, like I said, I got to meet up with some people that I would not ordinarily get to meet up with due to the fact that it is literally halfway around the world by I think it's like an hour off being halfway around the world. How long did I go for? I went for about a week, roundabout. If you take out the travel time, because the trip is about 24 hours in a plane, either way. So if you take that out of the equation, then you have, it was about a week. So did some sightseeing. Then I went to MCM for a couple of days, and then I did some more sightseeing, and then I came home. 24 hours in a plane? Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a very small break in the middle because it was like a layover, but it was different. I was not, how did I manage that? That is a very good question. I'm honestly not sure. I think I was dissociated for a lot of it. I don't actually remember I think I remember a little bit of my trip home because I basically just put Pirates of the Caribbean on the plane viewer and just kind of let them play that. I don't remember much of the trip going over, now that I think of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was dissociated from that because I do not remember that at all. I remember traveling, I remember being in a plane, and I remember having some stomach issues on the first leg of the trip. But that was, I figured out that was just because I didn't take the right medication beforehand. But I've made sure that problem was resolved for the second trip, which made things a lot easier. But it was, how did I do that? I also listened to a lot of horror podcasts. I was listening to a lot of, what was I listening to? I downloaded a lot of stuff to listen to for the trip. I listened to, it's going to bug me, Magnus Archives. I was listening to a lot of Magnus Archives. But that was more for the trip, for half of the trip back. I don't remember. Mike, what did I do on that first trip over? I really do not remember the first half of that trip. Horror podcasts on a long plane ride is insane. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, it was the only thing that my brain would let me focus on. Like, I tried listening to, like, my audio. I had so many audiobooks I could have chosen from, but apparently the only thing my brain would let me listen to for any length of time was horror podcasts. And that's probably not even the worst part, because after I had gotten back into the country on the way home, I got back into the country at about, like, just before midnight, and instead of getting a hotel room and going back in the morning, I was just like, you know what? I just want to go home. And so I caught a train back to where I live from the city. And there was like one or two other people on this train the whole time. It was also not a particularly good train. It was very rattly. And apparently, my brain only wanted to let me listen to horror podcasts then, when I'm sitting in a train, potentially by myself, but maybe not, at 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning. I do not like that my brain did that. It's not great that my brain did that. And I recognized after the fact that I was just like, why was that the only thing you would let me listen to when I am in a train with like maybe one other person? I don't know. At the very least, the second half of that train ride was fine because I switched to a much. Well, I had to like transfer because my train only went so far. But I switched to a much more comfortable train, and I was literally the only person on it. I saw that because I was the only person on the train, or like on the train platform when I did that. So, sorry, I just saw a bit of makeup from my lip had gone not on my lip, so I figured I should probably fix that. But yes, for some reason, my brain would only let me focus on horror podcasts out of all of the audiobooks, all the fantasy, all the sci-fi, all of the... Well, there was probably also some horror in there too. Well, there was also some smut too. I don't know if I would have... I was tempted to listen to that, but my brain wouldn't let me listen to more than like 20 minutes at a time of anything, so that was not super helpful. And I was not impressed that when I was on a barely empty train at 2 o'clock in the morning that my brain could only let me listen to horror podcasts. It was really annoying and very not cool. So I would like to say that I would plan more for that in the if I were to do more trips, but there is a good chance that if I were to do more trips, I would probably be stuck listening to horror podcasts again for that one. So that, my brain is annoying sometimes. So it's not... If you've got any suggestions for horror podcasts or something else that my brain might be able to focus on for short periods of time, that'd be great. But apparently my brain was only going to let me listen to that one podcast. I had so many other things I could listen to, but my brain was just like, nope, horror podcasts. I think at one point when I was on that barely solo train journey, it was the Magnus Archives, and it was a story about two sisters who got stuck in a cave, and one of them was never seen again, or were they? So that was I don't know why that one's stuck in my memory. Probably also the same reason I'm never going cave diving. Because that is right up there with thalassophobia in terms of things I ain't doing. So there is that going for me. So if I do ever meet up with some friends and we want to do an activity, it will definitely not be cave diving. Probably not even just regular caves. I do not see the appeal at all of going into a cramped claustrophobic cave system and like there being even the remotest chance that you will get stuck. That is terrifying. Not as... Okay, it's up there with the deep ocean fear, but it's up there, but it's not like all encompassing. So we have, we'll get I was going to say we'll get over it as like, that's been around for like 20 years. I don't think that one's going anywhere anytime soon. So, because that's the fun thing with that sort of trauma, is that it tends to leave a mark. And those marks do not, even with therapy, can only do so much. And like there's exposure therapy. I don't really want to do that. I've had coworkers over the years, and they were like, the amount of them that are like, oh, I'm going to go on a cruise, and I'm just like, you could not pay me to go on a cruise. One, the whole open ocean thing, and two, it is a full-on germ factory. The amount of stories I have heard from people going on cruises and then coming back with some kind of stomach virus, and I'm just like, I don't need that. I don't need stomach viruses. I've had them. It's not fun. I've had to be hospitalized for one of them. I don't know what kind of virus it was, but I had to be hospitalized for one because it was like, oh yeah, so there's a fun little fact for me. I've had to be hospitalized for like some kind of stomach bug, and like I had to call the ambulance, and they basically said if I didn't call them when I did, I probably would have passed out from dehydration, and there is a good chance I may not have woken up from it. So, because that's just how much I was puking. Nothing stayed down, so there was no way I could hydrate myself, and that's not fun. Have you ever puked so much that you just like pass out from dehydration? It's not fun. And the paramedics were understandably concerned when they saw me and the fact that I could barely like move. I spent the next 24 hours being pumped full of fluids again. And that was not a fun experience. But on the plus side, I was super hydrated by the end of that. I was pissing like a racehorse. Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a real phrase. I may have just combined a few phrases. Anyway, but that was not... But yeah, so that was... I had to be hospitalized for that. That was fun. I've had to be hospitalized for a few things. That was one of the less fun ones. Not that there's a fun reason to be hospitalized, because, like... Well... If you have to be hospitalized, means you're so unwell that you have to, be in a hospital. And I would prefer not to be in a hospital because, like, A, you're already unwell. B, it means there is a chance that you will pick up something from the other people that are unwell. And C, there's no guarantee that they'll find out what's wrong with you. Because, like, that time with the stomach bug, that is one of the few times that I have been sent to a hospital and they have been able to find out what's wrong with me. Every other time, no such luck. I've just kind of been there and then they looked at me and gone, oh, well, I got nothing. Best of luck to you. Here's some paracetamol, hope for the best. And I was like, I could have done that at home. It's like, could you not actually look into what the problem is? They did look into what the problem is. They still couldn't figure out what it was. So that's also fun. When you go to the hospital and it comes up, all results normal, but you've still got the problem. I've had that happen a few times. And one of those is a story. Internet went and missed 10 minutes. That's all good. I was just complaining about hospitals and how not fun they were. Because as I was kind of saying, I've had to be hospitalized a few times in my life and none of them were fun. And on at least one occasion, I did the only occasion that they've actually been able to find what my problem is and fix it was when I was like so massively dehydrated from a stomach bug that I was basically struggling to stay conscious. And they just pumped me so full of fluid for the next 24 hours that I was just peeing constantly after that. And so hopefully your internet is all good now. I know that internet is a bit of a bitch sometimes. That's part of my problem here. Australia is not known for its amazing internet connections. All the other times that I've gone to the hospital, they have not been able to fix it. And they've just kind of gone, yep, hope for the best. Good luck. Come back if it happens again. And then it does. And then they're just like, cool, okay, still don't know what's wrong with it. Go home, take some paracetamol, get some rest. And I'm like, that's not what you want to hear when you're dealing with like 8 to 9 out of 10 levels of pain and you've got your doctors and technicians saying, hey, I don't know what it is. I can't see anything wrong. And I'm just like, cool, well, I'm still in pain, so that doesn't help me. There is also another story, which is another one relating to doctors not knowing what's going on with me. I'm kind of holding on to that story and saving that for when I get affiliate, and saving that for a redeem for that one because it's kind of a juicy story, and I've only shared it with a couple of people. And it's another story of doctors not knowing what was going on with me. At least in the case of this one, it wasn't because of 8 to 9 out of 10 levels of pain. because that is really not fun. 8 to 9 out of 10 levels of pain is not fun. The other issue, it's not good, but it's also like, it's not painful, but it also shouldn't be happening. So it's more just weird. And when I just kind of, I brought it up to my doctor and was just like, hey, while I'm here, because like my doctor has a waiting list, so I make a list of things to bring up to them. And we covered all of that one. And then I just kind of went, oh yeah, while I'm here, I've also been dealing with this issue. And they were like, let's focus on that issue because that's weird. And yeah, so I'm holding on to that story. So if you aren't following and you would like to, feel free. I'm gradually working my way towards affiliate. I'm optimistic. I've got all of the boxes ticked except for average viewers. So once I get my average viewers up, I am all set. Well, now you're intrigued? Exactly. And that's how you're hooked. Thank you for following. I just got that notification. Something just happened. Yep, cool. I don't know. Something just happened. I got a notification. So anyway, that's all good. But yes, I am now. It's an intriguing story. To the people that I have already told this story, it is kind of one of those situations where there was a lot of lead up to it, and I was like, I kind of have to tell them the story now. But here, it's my stream, so I can throw the bait in and hope for the best. But yes, I will be telling that story eventually, but not yet. I have other stories in the meantime. But that is probably one of my juicier stories. Like, for example, I have a scar on the side of my hand. You can barely see it with this camera, but I have a scar on the side of this hand. It is about that long. It is perfectly straight and almost like surgically clean. I have no idea where that scar came from. No one in my family knows where that scar came from, and none of my relationships know where that scar came from. It's just a mystery scar on the side of my hand, and nobody knows where it came from. Leading theory is aliens. So, came from a big sword in the back. Well, I mean, it's a good theory. The sword is relatively recent, though. I think this one I've had since, at least 10 years. This one, that I've only had for about 2 years. 2 years? Let's say 3 years. But that realistically could do some damage, because that is like solid steel, and that is like 5 foot long. So that could do some damage. Didn't do this damage. No one knows what did this damage. And that is really annoying, because I would really like to know where this scar came from. Nobody knows. It's actual steel. That is actual steel. I mean, it's not like super, super sharp or anything, but it is solid steel. It is a definite two-handed weapon, that one. I have a surprising amount of swords, I realized the other day. I didn't realize I had accumulated as many of them as I thought I did. I've got that one, which is the replica of the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy. I've got that one, which is the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, also steel. That one is actually kind of sharp. Kind of. I have an Angel Blade from Supernatural up in the top corner. You can kind of see the reflection for that one. And I have... What else do I have? I feel like I'm missing some swords. Oh, I have a fencing sword just up in the side there, like a legitimate fencing sword. Just along the side there. That one is like a family thing. I got that off my granddad. I also have some anti-Titan blades from Attack on Titan. Not in this room, but I have them. What else? What else do I have? I feel like I'm missing more of them. Very well defended castle. Yes. The pride of my collection I do not have in this room, because it hangs in my living room. It's Love Attack on Titan. Yeah, I like that show. I don't remember when at what point in the series I bought the Titan Blade. But the pride of my collection is a 1-to-1 scale of the sword Anduril from Lord of the Rings, Aragorn's King Sword, essentially. And it is limited edition and is made from the same molds as the one they used in the film. It was not cheap. And that is why it lives in my living room, because it is the pride of my collection. I also have a bunch of other just like training swords and little bits and bobs. But yeah, haven't seen Lord of the Rings? No, that's fair enough. It occurred to me recently that those movies are like 20 years old now, which is insane to think of for me. But it's so it's basically like, actually, I'll see if I can what I'll do is I'll go back into the back into this one. That is not the one I wanted. So that would be this sword that he is holding right now when it wants to load. So it is a long sword. It is basically like the same length as, actually it's slightly longer than the Buster sword. I am using a dad blocker. Do not tell Twitch. But that is a full size thing, and trying to see if there's any more. Nope, no more pictures on that one. Brilliant. And it is a big sword. It is another one that is like a two-handed sword. And why am I still on that screen? There we go. Have I swung it before? Kind of. It's because of the size of it. I don't have a I don't have a lot of room in my house to get a proper swing on that one. I would need to do that one outside because it's a big sword. You need a lot of room to do that. If I did that in my house, I would be hitting the roof. I have hit the roof with it before. So it's it is big, and I would put it on stream because like I enjoy it, as like I said, it's the pride of my collection. But I also like having it up on display in my living room, because that way every time I come into my house I get to see it, and I like that. It's fun. But that is, yeah, like the biggest, well, up there as being one of the biggest of my swords. And I did not realize until a couple of weeks ago just how many swords I actually have. Evidently, once I'm given the opportunity, I just keep adding more to it. Don't need to, probably shouldn't be, but I do. And so it's I would get more of like that level of quality of the like the Anduril ones, but at the same time, it is, that shit was pricey. That is not a regular spending occurrence. Even with my impulse control issues, I still have to have money for it. And I don't remember when I bought that. I think even at the time it was an impulse purchase, but I think like I had a little bit more spare change at the moment. Not to say I don't have spare change at the moment. I just spend it on other things right now. Yeah, like you can get some general purpose swords or just like, you know, LARP swords and training swords and that sort of thing. Those ones aren't generally too expensive, but ones like these guys and kind of that one, and definitely the Lord of the Rings one down in my living room. Yeah, the higher quality, the more it's gonna cost you, because like those ones, especially the one in the living room, like it may not be an overly sharp blade, but it is still like 5 foot of steel. So if you were to get hit with that, you're gonna take some damage, even if it's not specifically like slash damage. it's still at the very least a 5-foot pole of steel that you're being hit with. And I don't know about you, I don't love being hit by 5-foot poles of steel. It's not how I like to spend my day. Maybe different kinds. Like a LARP sword would probably be slightly less bad to be hit with, for example. It still would hurt, but it would at the very least not be made of solid steel. So we don't have... Actually, I need more LARP things. I've been looking at getting into LARP, but there's nowhere around where near where I live that has them. Haven't been hit by a 5-foot long sword, so don't know if I'd like it or not. That's fair. I can't imagine in this day and age that there is a lot of people that are being hit by long swords outside of, like I was saying, LARP communities and that sort of thing, because I would like to do LARP because it looks fun, even if it does mean that I'll probably end up a little bit battered and bruised at the end of it. But it looks fun. But unfortunately, there's nowhere near where I live that has any sizable LARPing community. And that's kind of why, like, I don't say this often, but there are certain aspects of the UK that I would like to be able to, like, live amongst. And one of those is that one of the bigger LARP communities internationally is within the UK. And there is that. And I do follow another streamer. He regularly does LARP stuff. And he looks like he has a lot of fun with it. And I would love to join in on that, but unfortunately I can't. So I just get to enjoy it remotely. And just kind of pretend in the meantime. It's one of those things where it's much like a lot of my other hobbies, it's one of those things where I feel I almost certainly would overinvest and then lose interest in it in like a month. Because so many of my hobbies that are just like, I've got so many things, like top of the line things or like relatively good things, and then I'll do it and then I'll be like, it'll be gone in a week because I've gotten distracted by something else. Funnily enough, streaming was one of those things at some point. I've been getting better at being consistent nowadays, but I have been streaming on and off for like 3 years. And when I say on and off, it's generally been like 2 streams and then I forget about it for 6 months. That's not how I'm doing things now. I'm trying to be a lot more consistent, aiming for at least 2 to maybe 3 streams a week, and I've actually been sticking to it. And because I've been sticking to it, I have actually been able to start building an audience for it. But because of that, that was one of those hobbies that when I first got into it, I was like, I want to start off strong. So like I have equipment of varying levels. Hope I stick to streaming. I hope I stick to streaming too. Because I've got like this camera. This one's just like a little Logitech one. I've got this camera, which I bought this camera originally to do as like a puzzle camera. Because like, I mean, at the moment it's just kind of aimed at the floor because occasionally my cat comes in and I can use it as a cat cam. But, so I've got like that camera, I've got that camera, got an Elgato mic. I do have like a proper DSLR camera, not specifically for the purposes of like streaming. Sorry, I just realized I turned my mic too far away, so you may not have been able to hear me. And then like I use that camera for everything though, like not, but I've yet to get it successfully connected to my stream. It doesn't need to be that fancy, because that's one of those things where like I really should just kind of see how I go before I overinvest, but that's not how my brain works. My brain works like, nope, you're going to start off strong so that way you can just like max out your skills early. And I'm just like, that's not how that works. So luckily, because I already had several of these things, oh, there's also like a massive key light on the top of the screen, which is like, makes a big difference because like this is with the key light. This is with no key light, just the backlights. Also being powered with a, oh, I can't bring that closer to stream, a Stream Deck. All of these things I didn't need to start with when I first started streaming years ago, but I'm glad I have them now because it means I don't have to buy them again. But it makes but yes, it's, my hobbies tended to be like fleeting. So I'm hoping to not have that happen this time. Trying to make myself more accountable to actually get it sticking. I've actually, like, I think a big thing of it is like I am more involved in various online communities than I was the first time I was streaming. So now I am like, my interest is constantly being refreshed, which makes a big difference. Because I feel like if I didn't have that, it probably would have been a case of like 2 streams and I'm done kind of thing. Whereas now, it's not 2 streams I'm done. I think this is like my 8th stream or 9th stream, one of the 2. But it's up there. It's lasted longer than any of my previous attempts to stream. So I will hopefully be able to keep it going. Fingers crossed. And like I said, I've made a few friends through streams as well. Not specifically my streams, but just like streams in general. And I think that helps as well because like that also helps keep me accountable. Fingers crossed. Definitely fingers crossed. So we have, that's why like, and even like this time when I was restarting, like I still over prepared to a degree, not at least in equipment wise, because I already had all of this crap going on. But in terms of like, because this time around I was actually able to start being consistent and building stuff up, this is probably the closest I've gotten to affiliate yet. And I'm optimistic. I'll get there. I just need to get my average up because I've got all the other metrics that they need for it. But with that, because I am now closer than I have been to it previously, I've been making plans. So, you know, like affiliate, you get access to point redeems. Affiliate, you get access to sub badges. Affiliate, you get access to emotes and like bits and stuff. And so I've been working on a few different things to be able to utilize that so that at least there is something for people to be able to join in on when I get to that point. And like I said, I'm optimistic for it. It'll be a bit scuffed for sure because most of it is stuff that I have come up with myself. And I haven't actively done graphic design in a little while, so my skills are a little rusty. But it's, yeah, I'll get there. It's only a matter of time. Just got to keep putting myself out there, because like if I don't keep putting myself out there, then, you know, if you don't put yourself out there, then nothing happens. At least if I put myself out there, then I'm putting myself out there and someone will see it. Like you. You saw it. You joined in, and I appreciate that. So thank you very much. Because every person helps. Anonymous, welcome to stream. Welcome to, I thought you had been in a stream before, but thank you for the first time chat. Popped in to say hi after Crow ended stream. Keep safe, stay awesome. Thank you. You stay awesome as well. Because like, you also didn't have to drop into stream, but you did. And I appreciate that. So thank you. We've just been talking about potential affiliate plans and potential games I can play in lieu of Subnautica in case my computer craps out trying to play Subnautica on stream eventually. That's a little while along, but we found many substitute games and I am pleasantly surprised by that. So I'm probably going to end up getting a few of them if I'm being perfectly honest. Some for the stream, some for just me. But it'll be good. So yes, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. Eventually, I will get around to playing a game because I just realized I've been talking for like 2 hours. Normally, my streams only go for like 3 hours. So I do that a lot, I've noticed. I just get yapping And there are so many times where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play a game. And like, given that my streams average about 3 hours long, I don't realize it until about 2 hours in. And I'm like, oh, I'm still just talking. I mean, I like talking. I got plenty of shit going on in here that I can definitely talk about. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, it's like I was saying before, like I have DID or something very similar to that. So I have a variety of personalities, I guess is probably the best way to put it, bouncing around in here. 24-hour yapping only stream when? Well, we'll see how it goes, because like, probably a little while. I'm gonna say since I've got my follower goals up to 500, that might be a 1,000 follower goal currently. Because yeah, it's just been happening a few times lately, and that was actually, it was one thing that like it's streamer advice that I've known for years, but it's one that I've often kind of worked with, which was just keep talking, because no one wants to come into a silent stream. It's also why I have music, because that also makes it more engaging. And that's the thing. I am very used to having conversations with myself. The fact that I have other people here to talk with means I don't have to rely on talking to myself all that much, which is a massive advantage. And so that's great. And like, I also consider myself quite lucky as well, in that like, I know a lot of people, like especially small streamers like myself, like they'll have streams where they're talking to no one for like the whole stream, or they'll be playing a game and there'll be no one there. I consider myself especially lucky that I've only actively been streaming again for like a month, and I've got people to bounce off of. Like, it might only be a handful of people, but a handful of people is still better than nothing. And I am very grateful for that, because it also means that I can bounce the conversation off someone other than my own brain. Sorry, this shirt is huge, just FYI. And so I keep sitting on it, and then I keep, if anytime I move whilst I'm sitting on it, it just kind of pulls, and it's just like, it's a comfy shirt. It is not a sitting down shirt. So, but otherwise, would recommend this shirt. Also, would recommend me. But that is a different, adjusted it so many times. Yeah, I didn't even notice that I've been adjusting it as much as I have, but I'm not surprised that I have been adjusting it, because it's a comfy shirt. It's also surprisingly thick, which is it's good for winter. I'm not in winter though, but it's good for winter. But it's I like it. It was also the only thing I could decide on in terms of what I was going to wear for stream. So it was, we had to, we take what if this is the only thing that my brain would approve of me actually wearing, then that was what I'm going to wear. Oversized Silent Hill shirt? Yeah, exactly. I need more oversized shirts, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think I have like 2 of them. And one of them is very much like just a night shirt. I don't think I'd wear that on stream. One of them it'd be fine. There's some that I have seen that have caught my eye, but they're like not designer, but they are a brand name one. Not sure if you are familiar with the brand Ick. They're a UK brand. They are, let's see if I can load up, like, the shirts are, the clothing is pricey, but it's good quality. Like, I've got a baby tee from them, and it is very comfortable. That is different. Anyway, that's not what I'm looking for. I was not expecting to see this when I came onto the front page of that. I'm assuming that that is a new design. That is actually pretty cool. But that is not why I am looking. Like, what I'm trying to show you right now is the shirt that I kind of want to get, but haven't yet, which is this one, because it looks very cozy. never heard of an American byway. Yeah, that's fair enough. Like I said, I only happen to know about it because I follow the person who made this brand on social media. So like I like. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. Ignore that. So what is going on there? But yeah, like that. If it's anything like the other stuff that they've made, it's a really comfy. Do you know? Yeah. Yeah, so that is made by, well, there is other pictures, just apparently not on this one. And apparently it's not going to work anymore. Brilliant. So, yes, there is. So that is Big Icky / Ashley, the owner / creator of X Studios clothing, and it's pretty good quality stuff. From, granted, I've just got a shirt, and I do have a hat actually. I haven't worn it yet, but it looks like it. But yes, I've been tempted to get one of the oversized tees from them, because if it's the same quality as the baby tee, then I know I'm going to like it. But again, because it's kind of designer, it is not cheap. So I have to. She's British. She is very British. Somewhere in England. I'm not entirely sure where. I think she lives in Birmingham. But yes, she is very British. And like the stuff that I've got that is from that brand has generally been pretty good quality. So I would get more of it when I have more spare change. It's one of those things. Got to prioritize. And I am an impulse purchaser, but I have to kind of tier list my impulse purchases in terms of like which stuff I buy on impulse first. So you're American, eh? What time of day is it over in, I mean, you don't need to tell me specifically in America, but like, because I know it's like evening-ish or afternoon for you guys. Anyway, thank you for joining me nonetheless. It's also kind of why I chose this time to stream. I can only do it once a week, but this time, because it's a little bit better for those in like America and the UK. For like, it's like an evening stream or a late night stream for those 6 p.m. Okay, cool. So it's not too late, which is good. And yeah, so I find that this time is good for people from there. And like I said, I know a few people over there, so sometimes, it's good to be able to make things helpful for them, because the only other time I can do it is basically the other end of the day for me, which is it's like first thing in the morning in America and probably like middle of the night for most of the US, because that's like my nighttime, which is my after work time. But today I have off, so I can have like actual conversations, and I can have people from places other than Australia. Can have a little bit more of an international audience at this time of day, which is great. Watch another Australian streamer streams at 11 p.m. Oh, cool. See? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thing, because it's like the other time of day, like it works for me, but it doesn't work for a lot of other people. So I try to do one stream this time, one stream that time, so that everyone can be equally available, I guess. So well, that's kind of how I like to try and do it. That enough tattoo. There are a couple of them. I'm looking to get more, but again, I've got to save up some money for that. I got one on there and got a basic one on there. They are, funnily enough, both Lord of the Rings ones. So I'm looking to add more, but I got to save up for it, because the one that I'm working on a design for is basically going to be like full arm up to like there. So it's not going to be a small one. So I got to save up for that. But I really want to do it. But I do know I'm going to have to save up for it. And it's probably going to have to take a couple of sessions. Because it's that's Lord of the Rings fan, kinda. It was also like one of the first designs that I could not justify. One of the first designs that my brain would unilaterally accept. Because like I've got a list of different ones that I want, but I was like, you know what? I want this one first. And like there are other meanings behind them, but they're kind of depressing. So I'm not going to go too deeply into the meanings of these ones. The one that I have planned here, there's not really a meaning to that one. I just think it'll look cool. But it's because the one that I've got planned here, it's kind of like a shadow tendril kind of vibe going. Like I don't have anything on there at the moment, just for clarification. I don't have anything up there. But my plan is to one day have that, because I think that'll be really cool. But it's going to be expensive and time consuming, and those are two things I do not have right now. So eventually that will happen. That is just a matter of time. It may take me until I'm 50 to have the time and money to actually do that. But if that is the case, then I'll get it at 50. That still gives me a while to like deal with my other impulse spending in the meantime. And like it was one of tattoos, they're one of those things that like for so long in my life I never really felt compelled to get one. And then like a few years ago I was just like, you know, fuck it. I've got a bunch of designs, mostly pop culture related, that I would like to get tattoos of. And now I'm going to do it, because I think also I was in a relationship at the time, and in hindsight, she was kind of judgy. And after I was out of that relationship, I was like, cool, well, now I don't care about anyone's judgment for what I do with it now, so I'm getting a tattoo. I was like, I'll start small, because like I don't know what my pain threshold's like. Turns out, apparently, before I knew I had a dissociative condition, my go-to response for any kind of traumatic event, whether that be mentally or physically, such as a tattoo, is to just dissociate out of it. So I was not mentally present for most of that tattoo. I vaguely remember a scratching sensation, and then other than that, I don't actually, like, I remember being there. Like, I remember signing in, and I remember sitting down, and I remember, like, them drawing the stencil for it. But I do not actually remember getting the tattoo, other than a very vague recollection of scratchiness. So, I hope you don't mind. This is a hairband. I keep it on hand because otherwise my cat will come and get it, and I am running out of hairbands because she keeps coming and stealing my hairbands. And I may or may not put my hair up at some point. As you've probably seen, much like with the shirt, I fidget a lot with that, and that is not great. So I keep it on my hand, so at the very least it is a controlled fidgeting. So that is something. Tattoo basically happened in an instant too. No, it's pretty accurate actually. Like, I think it took in total for like both, because this one was like nothing. I think in total it only took like about 45 minutes, I think. Maybe about an hour. At least that's like how long they charged me for. But yeah, I don't really remember much of the actual aspect of getting a tattoo from that one. But it's, it basically was a case of I went in, they got started, I remembered some scratching, and then that was about it. I don't remember the rest of it. I do feel like something like this one that I've been referring to a few times, getting that one done, I don't know if I'd be able to completely dissociate from that, because this took like 45 minutes. That, I'd be looking at probably like 12 hours, I would imagine. at least the way I'm imagining it, it's like the level of detail would take it would be most of a day. So that is a bit of a longer tattoo session by comparison. So I probably wouldn't be able to be out of that long. Also, because the tattoo artist might consider that a little bit rude, potentially, if I was just like not present mentally for like 12 hours. Because, you know, we need to be around. Like, that's the sort of thing that, like, yes, they can do it, and like they do need to lock in every now and then, but it's also like, if they're going to be chatty, I will be chatty in return. If you're paying well, they care if they're mentally there or not. Well, I mean, that's true. I think it's like, it also probably depends on the personality of the person doing the tattoo, because I know, like, some of them, much like with, you know, hairdressers and estheticians and that sort of thing, they like to chat while they're working because it helps the day go faster. But, and then there's others that are just like, they are focused, and their focus is on getting the tattoo done. So, like, I will go with whatever works in that situation. Like, I'm not going to avoid a tattoo artist just because they're a little bit chatty, so to speak. So, but at the same time, how much I respond, that's going to be the real question, because that's I can't guarantee that for that length of time how much of it I would actually be there, because that is kind of, yeah, all over the place in that regard. And it wasn't until very recently that I realized that apparently that was what I do. Like, dissociation is apparently my go-to trauma response. It's a fun little thing to have when you don't know that it's happening. So I've had to make myself very aware of when things are happening so I can make it not happen if I need to actually be present for it. It's I don't love having that level of self-awareness. Like the kind of self-awareness where you know that there's something wrong, but you can't always guarantee that you are aware enough to be able to stop it. So, yeah, we do what we can, when we can. Be very exhausting. It is so exhausting. Like, I work a 9 to 5 most of the time. Like, when I am done with the day, I basically just crash out as soon as I get home, because the act of making myself stay mentally present whilst I'm there is basically a constant drain on the battery. And that's kind of why I'm like, the last couple of streams that I've had to cancel have been like Friday streams, because they are after work. And like, I want to do Friday night streams, but my brain, it's like, it's rolling the dice on if my brain actually wants to let me. But Mondays, which is Monday for me now, it is Monday morning, about to turn Monday afternoon. It is very much kind of a case of I've actually been able to get a little bit of rest. So the battery is slightly fuller than usual. It's not full. The battery is never full. That's just how my brain works. The battery is never full. But on this time of day, like, I only woke up about 3 hours ago. So the battery is as full as it's going to be. So, love the song, by the way. Sorry for devoting. No, that's all good. I'm glad you're enjoying the playlist. I've got a bit of everything in there at the moment. Who is playing at the moment? Oh, Careless Whisper. Yeah, fair enough. It is a good song. I do like this song. But yeah, this playlist, I've tried to kind of accommodate for most tastes. Like, as you can see, I have this one. I have Careless Whisper. I have pop. I have folk. I have dance. I have I don't know what this one's called. So it's not your personal playlist. No, it is my personal playlist. These are all songs that are currently in my collection, and I pulled them from my collection. I don't actually know how big my collection is, but the playlist, which is the one which I have pulled from this, or pulled to put in for this, this is one that I've made specifically for stream. It's 15 hours long. So, like I said, there's a bit for everything. Also got some K-pop, some rock, some rap, some hip-hop, and yeah, it's a bit of everything, really. Like I say, I try to have something for everybody. And with everything that's going on in here, what I feel like in terms of what genres I'm interested in varies on like an hourly basis. If I even feel like wanting to listen to music at all, because there are definitely some times where things going on up here and I'm just like, no, music off, live in silence. You get silence for now and you will live with it. So other times I'll be like, whatever's on the playlist is good enough for me. But yes, so this one, I don't remember when I added it to my playlist, but it is definitely in my actual playlist. Listen to the same songs for weeks on repeat. Oh yeah, no, I do that too. Most recent ones that I've been, actually, what have I been, I'm gonna open my other music and just, because like, if I touch anything on there, there's a good chance that I may lose access to what the playlist is currently playing. I have been listening to a lot of the K-pop band ATEEZ lately. I've been listening to that on repeat for a while. And, but yes, there are definite times where there was a while there, apparently, I don't remember doing it, but apparently last year, so I don't have Spotify, I have Apple Music, and Apple does a similar thing to like the Spotify recap. Besides Cupid song, I don't know any K-pop songs. That's fair. I only really got back into K-pop like last year, basically. I was into it for a bit because like one of my exes was into it, but then that relationship ended and I was like, I don't think I'm interested anymore. And then another streamer that I watch, she's very into K-pop, and so it pops up on her playlist a lot of the time. And because of that, I was like, oh, okay, there's actually some good stuff in here. So I've started listening back into the K-pop since then, and I blame her for that. But yeah, like there was a period last year. So Apple does a similar thing to like the Spotify recap, and somehow the Hamilton soundtrack and the Sweeney Todd soundtrack were in my like top 10, and I'm like, how did that even happen? Apparently I just binged it too much. Fourth Aussie I've met who listens to K-pop is a big over there, kind of, actually. I've only recently been looking into that, but there is a surprisingly bigger crowd for K-pop than I realized. Like I said, I only really got back into it like a year ago, but yeah, there is a surprising amount of like Australian interest. It really caught me by surprise as well, and I was also caught by surprise because by the band that I was talking about before, ATEEZ, they're apparently performing in Australia in like a month, and I only found that out like a month ago. But I was like, well, damn, that's pretty cool. So I'm trying to go and actually see if I can see them, but I'm getting mucked around by our Australian ticket vendors, which is not fun. So whether I do or not kind of comes down to them. But yeah, it's now that you mention it, yeah, I hadn't really considered that, but yeah, I think there may actually be a fairly decent K-pop community, I guess is probably the word for it. And yeah, that's a little surprising. But yeah, I blame my interest in it in that particular streamer. If you have the courage to walk in with a safety vest and let us let you in for free, you know what? That's not a bad idea. I just need to get a safety vest and a ladder. I've also heard walking in with a clipboard as well is also quite handy. So I just need a safety vest, a clipboard, and possibly a ladder. and then I'll be set. As long as nobody asks any further questions. So, ignore the person in the safety vest. I may just have to, like, not be wearing this, because that might give me away a little bit. Or I put it on when I get in there. That'll be something, because I've never put this makeup on freehand without a mirror. So it's I should try that one day. I should try and see how I go putting this on without any kind of mirror. I cannot imagine it would go overly well. I feel like it would be okay, but it would not be good. Try to stop and say, well, they get a citation. Oh, I like that. I like that. I've not heard that one. I like that. I should write that down. Because it's also like an excuse for me to, because like I don't get a lot of opportunities, because again, I work full-time 9 to 5 job. I don't get a lot of opportunity. I can't take your ideas. Damn. Okay, well, I'll have to come up with my own then. But I do like that idea. But yes, I don't get a lot of opportunities to do things, I guess, because like I don't live far from the city, but I don't live in the city. And by the city, I mean Sydney, like Sydney CBD. I don't live in the city, but I'm not far from it. So I can still do stuff. It's just not always the most convenient thing to do. And I've been trying to get out there and do more things recently. Because, you know, I'm trying to be more social, and like 90% of the people that I would consider friends, I've met through online stuff. So I don't actually, I've met 2 of them because they're online, and they were some of the people that I met up with when I went to England, and that was fun. But most of the people that I know online are like overseas, which is not entail ease of communication. I think one of them is it kind of works with, because they basically live on a nocturnal sleep schedule. Like a British friend, yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, I've made a few of them through, specifically from Liverpool. You've piqued my curiosity. Why Liverpool? Because like I don't know a lot about Liverpool. I only really know a few places specifically in the UK, and that's London, Manchester, Birmingham, Slough, because apparently a lot of people in England like shitting on Slough, and Cardiff in Wales. Love the Scouse accent. Fair enough. That's a pretty good reason. Yeah, because like half of the people that I know I met through one of the streamers that I follow, including the streamer themselves. I've met them. They were fun. And I talk with them occasionally as well, which is also fun. But it's I don't think I know anyone from Liverpool. Where they constantly say lad. Yeah. Too right, lad. That's fair. That's fair. Like, that's yeah, like I don't actually. Sorry, my camera is focusing funny. Okay, there we go. I can't say I actually know anyone from Liverpool. I know some from South Wales, and I know some from Manchester. I think that's about it. Even have a good Scouse accent for when you go to blend in. See, that's a good idea as well. I think I kind of did that unintentionally when I went over there, but not as much as I thought I would. Because I thought I would, like a defense mechanism. I kind of thought my brain was going to, because there is some British in there as well, and I honestly thought that my brain was going to switch to British when I went over there to, again, like you said, blend in. But surprisingly, no. The Australian stuck around. which kind of works as well, because I know in the UK there is mixed opinions on the Australians. The people that I met obviously don't have mixed opinions on me, but in general, I know, because like I know that for some in the UK, Australians are very loud people. I am not a loud people, so I know that like the general opinion can be that is the case. So what is my camera doing? So my camera is annoying me because the focus is not sitting on my face. What are you focusing on? Okay, that is getting really annoying for me. I only have mixed opinion on Arsenal fans. Fair enough. See, I don't follow enough about sports and so like football more specifically enough to have too much of an opinion. So what is going on with... No, that's definitely blurry. Focus on me. There we go. I don't know why it took so long to get back to me either. Scousers don't like Arsenal. They do not. That part I do know. But but yes, it was a fun trip. I would have liked to have done more, but it's because like England is not a big country, but it still takes more time than I had to actually see. Like I would have liked to have done a lot more sightseeing, because most of my trip was focused in or around London. And I would like to see, you know, the countryside. I'd like to see Wales. I'd like to see Scotland. And you can't do all of that in one day, because despite it being a smaller country, it is still a country. And I did a trip to New Zealand several years ago, and it took me about 2 weeks. I did a road trip on that one, and that 2 weeks only really got me 75% of the way down the country. And they're a similar-ish kind of size, I think, to the UK. Edinburgh would be amazing. Yeah, I think so. That's another, like I said, it's a place that I would like to check out, because like I would like to see some of the countryside. Like I like the city. I am very much a city person. I don't currently live in the city, but I am more of a city person. But I also can appreciate a good scenery. So if I had another opportunity, I would like to be able to venture out of the cities and into that. So is New Zealand part of Australia or not? Well, it's complicated. Technically, no. They are their own country. They are like our closest neighbor. That's why I was able to... New Zealand was my first overseas trip, because they are only a few hours away by plane. Whereas, as I said before, England was about 24 hours. So officially officially New Zealand are part of the same continental group as Australia, but they are their own country. That is my understanding of it. I know that is apparently like so it's kind of like we have like the Australian government has enough of a relationship with the New Zealand government that I didn't need a visa or anything to go across to see them. I don't even know if I needed a passport. I think I had a passport, but I don't think I needed one. We're like close enough neighbors that, yeah, we're technically part of the same group, but they are very much their own country. So it's kind of like... trying to think of an example. So what is a good example? My brain just stopped working there for a second. I guess it'd be kind of like France and England, for example. So like they're on the same continental group, but they are very much their own countries. So, because like they're all technically part of Europe. So New Zealand is kind of our equivalent to that. Like they're a neighbor, and they are technically still like close enough to us. Like I would go there again. Like I took some amazing photos over when I did that trip. I did a road trip for 2 weeks from the top of the country to like 2/3 of the way down to the bottom of the country. That was a lot of fun. I rented a car for that, and that was I mean, part of it was because New Zealand was one of the closer countries that I could go to, and I wanted to go overseas because I'd never gone overseas at that point. But also, like, a lot of the original series of Lord of the Rings movies were filmed over there, so I was like, okay, there's some good scenery in that. I would like to check out some of that. And I did. Like, I checked out, like, some of it was Lord of the Rings scenery. Others was just, like, I did my research beforehand, and I was like, I want to check out this place because this looks like it's got really cool scenery. And so I did that, and I got some amazing photos, and I would do it again. But I've got other countries on my list that I would like to go to first before I start going back to the first countries. Because, like, it's a lot of fun, and it is not an overly difficult trip to go to. Because, like, it's great. It's, like, it's expensive. Even from what I've been told of people who live in New Zealand, is that it is not the cheapest country to live in. And I could see that from my time there. I was like, this is a little bit pricey, this trip. So, but that's kind of why I do not regret that trip. It got me wanting to do more traveling. And that's why I don't regret my England trip. I regret the bill attached to it a little bit, but I do not regret the England trip because it was fun. Oh, thank you for following. I appreciate that. Thank you for sticking around. Hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. Afro Summer, welcome to the stream. I've just been talking about travel and procrastinating from gaming because at this point it's kind of getting too late to game, but I want to game, but I also, like, it's getting close to lunchtime for me and I'm kind of getting hungry, but I'm enjoying talking. There have been many times since I've restarted streaming and I've planned to game and then I just keep talking. Whether it's because I've thought of something or because others are talking as well. So apparently I do a lot of yap streams, but normally Monday, which is like, it's a Monday for me, is 30 minutes Mass Effect speedrun go. I don't know if I could speedrun it though. That's the problem. Like, it's a big game. And I suck at speedrunning because I am a completionist and like that. It's a fun game. I really do want to play it. And it's one of those ones where it's like I specifically put it as a stream game so that I would make myself play it eventually. But then the streams that I go to play it on, I end up just talking for 3 to 5 hours. And like, I like talking. Apparently, when I don't have to do it for work, apparently I just don't shut up. It's one of those things, I guess. It's once you get me comfortable in a situation, then you cannot stop me talking. I'm very much an introvert in that regard, in that, like, if I don't have to talk, I won't be. But ban whoever distracts you from playing Mass Effect in chat. I probably should. I would have to ban myself more than anything, because I am more often than not, I am the one that is distracting myself. It's very easy to distract me. It's as noted by the fact that it's 2.5 hours in now. But on the plus side, I have at least achieved half of my stream title. The first half of my stream title being solving problems, and that problem was finding a potential substitute for my Subnautica stream for whenever it gets to that point in my follower goals, because of the fact that with my computer not being like the newest of computers, it can play Subnautica or it can stream. I've yet to try doing both. I will probably find out on the day if it'll let me do that, and if it turns into a slideshow, then at least now that I have done today's stream, I have substitutes for that. I don't know why I was pointing up there. That means nothing to you guys. I'm pointing to my OBS, so it means something to me. Um, I think for you guys is like depending. It most likely is like down here somewhere. I'm assuming it depends on how you're watching it as well, but it's but I am a variety streamer, which I largely titled myself due to the fact that I have no ability to stay focused on a long-term game for any duration of time, as previously noted by the fact that I've played I've done two, what I call Mass Effect Mondays. I've done two of them where I actually played Mass Effect. And one of them, I got raided in the middle of, like, just before I started playing, I got raided, and then I spent the next hour just, like, talking again, because now I had new people. And I needed to introduce myself. And so I do have, so this is a Monday stream. I'm trying to do Friday streams as well. It's like Friday night for me, so it'd be like Friday morning for the rest of the world. And those ones kind of just depend on what I feel like playing. I feel like I would be more likely to play games on those ones because I'm tired. So I'm just like, I just need my brain to be able to focus on something. So whole day ahead, probably, yeah. I think that sounds about right. I don't actually know. I'm not great with time zones. I just know that, like, whatever time of day it is for me, it's probably the other side of the world, the other side of the clock for everybody else. It's Sunday here, then yes, I am a day ahead. What is the time? So, in the UK, it is about 1 a.m. In the US, it is between 5 to 8 p.m., depending on where you are. So, yes. It is the other side, other end of the clock for that one. So, I mean, it's on my schedule, I think. I'm pretty sure the schedule, like, adjusts for whoever's watching. 7 p.m., there you go. So I wasn't too far off. And, yeah, so I feel like it'd be like a morning stream for my Friday stream. But it should still be Friday, I think. I'm not 100% on that. But those ones, like, I feel like this Friday, if I play it, if my brain will let me, and I am able to stream, because I do want to stream more, turn on stream notifications, that is a good idea also. For anyone who is listening or who is following or who is not following, feel free to follow so you will get those notifications. And if you don't have notifications turned on, feel free to turn them on, because I am on the other side of the world for most of my viewers, and they're probably not going to know otherwise. So it's good. Like, but I'm thinking I kind of want to play Iron Lung on my Friday stream if I do play the Friday stream. And for that one, because, like, I have that one already, which was good. And I know that I've liked the game. Now I have to stream Friday. See, that is exactly it. Now I have some degree of accountability. So I'll probably be doing Iron Lung just because I've recently regained an interest in it, because, like, again, I've played it before, but it's not on my computer, so I don't know when I played it before. But I don't remember enough of it, so it's still going to be, like, a relatively fresh experience. And obviously, like, Markiplier did his movie recently, and obviously that's fresh out at the cinemas, so that has also regained my interest, also due to the fact that, like, I saw the movie. And it was kind of funny, actually. In my last stream, I had, was the movie good? It depends on what you're into, really, because it's a claustrophobic sci-fi horror. It's a very minimalist kind of movie, because, like, 90% of the time it is just him in the submarine. And then the other 10%, I haven't seen the Silent Hill one, but I'm going to say it's probably a bit better than that one. Because if you're into, like, minimalist horror, it's fine. Like, it's not the best movie. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a 10 out of 10. I would probably put it at, like, a 7 out of 10. like I said, it's good for what it is, and especially given that this was like his first major production, it turned out quite well with that factor being in mind. But it was, I enjoyed it as well. Didn't hurt that there was a very brief scene where Markiplier was also shirtless. That didn't hurt. But I like minimalist horror as well, because like I've seen a few. Would I rewatch it? I would rewatch it. Probably not at the cinema because cinemas are expensive. But I would watch it again. I would definitely watch that again. It was also one of the few cases where I actually went out to the cinema, because I do not remember the last time I went to a cinema to watch a movie. It has been that long, and it had been bugging me ever since I went to the movies, and I was like, what even was the last movie I went to see? I still couldn't tell you what the last movie I went to see was at the cinema. It was that long. But it's kind of funny, because in my last stream, the subject of Iron Lung came up in conversation. I haven't gone since Avengers Endgame. I wouldn't be surprised if it's been a similar sort of length of time, if I'm being honest. I don't actually remember on that one. It could have been. I know I saw that one at the movies, but I don't know specifically. But it was kind of funny. At my last stream, the subject of Iron Lung came up, and we were talking about that, and I mentioned the the Markiplier shirtless scene, and the other person in chat kind of fixated on that, not in like a bad way, but it was just kind of funny. And I later found out that they went and saw the movie. It was a date night movie, and I was like, okay, that is an interesting choice for a date night movie. But I'm glad they liked it. So I'm kind of glad I was able to help confirm their decision to go and see that movie. But I liked it, and I would see it again. But it is also like the kind of movie that I would watch, and I enjoy Markiplier as a personality and just like someone to watch. He's a fun guy. So yeah, I would definitely watch that one again. Just not at the cinema, because yeah, tickets and food and all that sort of stuff get expensive real quick. And I'm just going by myself. I'm not even going with people. So that adds up real quick. And probably, I mean, I don't think there's anything else at the cinemas that I would be watching right now. So on the plus side, I don't have anything that's compelling me to go to the movies this time. It was actually just kind of lucky that I went last time, because we had a heat wave. I think it was last week or the week before that. And my house is air conditioned, but there's only a limit to how much it can do when the temperature of your house, even with internal air conditioning, is sitting between 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, which I think translates to like 90 to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Somewhere around that. I'm not 100% sure on Fahrenheit, don't quote me, but it's around that area, somewhere in the area of fucking hot. Thank you for converting. You're welcome. I just realized, since you mentioned that you were in America, I know that it is a lot more common for Fahrenheit, but it was, I just called it fucking hot. And so I was already kind of uncomfortable, and I just kind of felt, you know what? I really just feel like going to see a movie. And then I had a look, and I was like, oh damn, Iron Lung is on at the movies right now. I had completely forgotten. And also, because again, I don't live in the metro area, which is generally where independent movies tend to get like all the attention. So the fact that it came out to my not metro cinema was very surprising. And I was like, I'm not going to lose this opportunity, because I'm honestly surprised it's happening anyway. So I went in there, and I braved the brief heat between my house and the cinema, and went into the cinema, where it was industrial air conditioning, made things very pleasant, and then came back out into an annoying level of heat again after that, which was a little bit unfortunate. But it was just good timing that he missed going to the movies. Yeah, that's fair. Like, it's a combination of not a lot of things are staying at the movies for very long these days, and also, yeah, the prices just being not great. So that doesn't help me with like my decision to want to move Wasted to anyone here. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I've always been fairly partial to just going by myself more than anything. Like even when I was in relationships, like if they wanted to go to, if there was a movie that we both wanted to go to, absolutely I would go with them. But if there was a movie that they didn't want to see and I did, I'd just be like, hey, are you cool if I just duck out and go and see that movie? And they'd be like, yeah, sure. But they were weirdly like judgy about me going to the movie by myself. And I was like, why do you have such an issue with me going to the movies by myself? Like, you're sitting in silence for 2 hours anyway. Why does it matter? But anyway, it's, that was an odd situation. But yeah, I've never had really an issue with going by myself. I guess because I've been solo a lot when good movies that I wanted to see have been happening. So I'm just like, well, fuck it. I'm still going to the movies. I'm not missing out on this just because I don't have someone to go with. Obviously, that's not for everybody. I'm just like, that's just how my brain works, is I prefer doing things by myself a lot of the time. That's also like why I did my New Zealand trip when I did it, because I was like, if I do that, I'm just doing it on my own schedule. Need that superpower? Yeah, I mean, it can come in handy as one of the few things I've got going for me that I think I would consider anything close to a superpower. But it's just, yeah, like, I've always found it kind of funny. Like, I live with chronic anxiety. Like, I am psychiatrically diagnosed anxious. And yet I'm like going out and doing stuff by myself. Apparently my brain is just cool with that. So I don't exactly know how I managed to wrangle that particular situation. And it's also why I keep coming back to streaming, because like I want to stream, but anxiety kind of is a bitch sometimes. And like there have been, mostly when I was like restarting things just in the very beginning of this session of streaming, not today, but like just this last batch, where I'm actually sticking to it. But there's definitely been a few times where I'd get like ready, I'd get dressed up, get the, look going, and I would just sit there staring at the screen because my brain would not let me press the go live button. And that's really annoying. So it's not a perfect scenario, but I can generally, anxiety is fun in that regard. It's definitely caused more problems than it's fixed. But to a degree, I've been able to get past at least the anxiety of streaming. Granted, like when I had those like big raids in the past, that took me a second to acclimate, because jumping from an audience of 1 to 5 is very different to suddenly having like 50 people here. I'm not complaining. I would never complain about that, because I just appreciate the fact that someone wanted to stream into my channel. But it's a different flow of conversation. So the anxiety jumps a little bit with that. But I work through it because, making new friends. So we to a degree, I've been able to get past a little bit of the anxiety. A lot of that is also tied down to the fact that over the last couple of years, there are people in can't be a streamer, the more people, the less I want to be there. Yeah, fair enough. I get that. Like I said, I'm kind of like starting the fact that I've like the 1 to 5 viewer chat is like it's a good kind of grading. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Gradual thing, because it kind of lets me get more used to having more people, which I find helpful. But it kind of, a lot of it was from a couple of years ago, actually probably about a year ago, actually, maybe a little bit more, So I basically spent most of my life as a people pleaser due to growing up undiagnosed autistic, which was fun. And so I've spent most of my life as a people pleaser, and basically something just broke last year in my head that basically disabled most of the connection that I had to that feeling for it. So it just kind of meant that a lot of the people whose opinions I would have felt judged by in the past, I didn't care about anymore. So it's just like that feeling of like anxiety based on judgment. Like, I'm sure they probably still have their opinions, but at the same time, like, I was more working on what made me feel better. I evolved. Yes, exactly. So, like, before I was more concerned about what other people in my life thought about me, that just basically literally just got, like, switch turned off in my head. And so then it kind of focused on, okay, stop trying to make other people happy. Try to focus on what will make you happy. And, like, I enjoy streaming. I'm still very much a baby streamer, so everything is still very scuffed. But I enjoy doing it, and it's fun. And so, like, because of that, I do, like, it makes me happy, and I'm less concerned about what the people who in my life before may have judged me about it. I don't care about that now. Now I do it for me. And hopefully, people enjoy it. Because, like, you know, ultimately that is a thing, is I want to be, I want other people to enjoy what I do as much as I do. And ideally, once I can get around certain tech problems, then that'll be even better. Because like I said before, I have a DSLR camera. I don't technically need it for streaming because, like, I have my little cheapy one here, which does the job most of the time. But I just, like, a DSLR one would just be like that much more crisp. I don't need it, but so I just had technical issues trying to get it to actually connect to my stream. So, I'll survive in the meantime. Can't wait for the Cyberpunk 2077 with ray tracing. Yeah, that's going to be a while. Because I would have to upgrade basically my entire setup for that one. Because I do have Cyberpunk on my computer. I've played a little bit of it on stream. It's crashed a lot. Definitely not ray tracing. Probably settings on, like, medium at most. I played most of my Cyberpunk on PlayStation. And I've spent, like, hundreds of hours in it. It's a great game. I do not think my computer can handle a ray tracing with that game. Have I beaten it? I have, eventually. I much like with Skyrim, it was one of those sorts of things where I would be constantly side questing. And then eventually I was like, okay, I think I've done all of the side quests now. Let's actually finish the game. So I've put hundreds of hours, or at the very least over 100 hours in Cyberpunk. I liked it. My first playthrough of that was a Corpo run. So, like, I was a Corpo V. 100% twice. Wow, that's pretty cool. I've not finished it twice. I tried playing it on my computer, but it kind of crashes a lot. But I think they may have patched that because I haven't tried it recently. But when I've tried it on stream, yeah, it didn't love it. So I don't know if it's been, like, better optimized in the meantime. So did a Corpo 2? Yeah. I think I did a Corpo run for one of them, and what was the other one? I think I did Street Kid for the other one. I don't think I've done a Nomad run, but I have done a Corpo and some of a Street Kid run for that. But much like with Skyrim, where everything eventually turns Stealth Archer, I had a tendency to just kind of go Stealth Netrunner for most of my playthrough as the Corpo one. And, like, yes, it made things easier, but it almost made it too easy. because like I could shut down most of my enemies before I even made it into the room. Which yes, made the game a lot easier, but it did take out a lot of the challenge for it. So that's why when I played my Street Kid run, I tried to do it more melee focused. Definitely took some adjusting given the aforementioned stealth archer slash stealth net runner as my go-to. That's what you did, yeah. It's it just kind of it's I don't want to say a fallback, but it is definitely a like a go-to for like when things get challenging. Stealth archer, just because like that way you don't have to necessarily get into the thick of it, and problem is still solved. So that was I did enjoy that game. I really should play that game again, but I have so little time in my days. Haven't played Skyrim, but have played Elder Scrolls Online. I probably, it's kind of the opposite. I've played a little bit of Elder Scrolls Online, but played a lot of Skyrim. I would imagine there would be a lot of similarities. I suspect for balancing, Online's probably done something to... I would be surprised if they haven't done something to kind of balance out the Stealth Archer. More of a Fallout man. I've played a little bit of Fallout. I've seen a lot of Fallout, like playthroughs, but I don't think I've ever actually finished it myself. Because I think I played like a little bit of New Vegas and a little bit of Fallout 4. I may have played a little bit of Fallout 3. I don't think I've finished any of them. I get distracted very easily, as you've probably noticed. So that doesn't help in that sort of situation. But Fallout is potentially also on one of my eventual stream game lists, because like I said, I think I've got most of them except for Fallout 76, which I don't really have any interest in playing. But the other Fallouts, I do have some interest. Eventually I might play it, but I've been watching a lot of Fallout streamers recently, so I'm just like, I think I'm a little bit burnt out by proxy in terms of Fallout stuff. Like, it's a good game. I've just seen a lot of it lately. So, there is that. I was going to play a game, but it just occurred to me I'm basically on about 3 hours now, and my stomach is starting to yell at me to go and eat some lunch. So, I might call it a day/night for now. Thank you for hanging around. You've made a lot of very fun conversations in this chat, and I hope I too have also been a fun conversation. But yes, so if you have notifications on, or if you would like to check my schedule, like I said, this one I try to be consistent with this time of day, because it was like, this is my main day off, so it's the main time of the week I can actually do this time. But the other one, the Friday one, I'm hoping to get back into doing more of that one. But that's, you'll have to check your schedule, because like it'll adjust for time for that. But I'm gonna go have some lunch, and then I'm probably going to, I honestly don't know, I probably have to clean. It's like I said, it's my only day off this week. I probably have to clean. As exciting as that is, I'm going to chuck on some music and clean. So hope to see you Friday like a stream. Now, thank you. I am glad you're enjoying the stream so far. I hope to see more of you also. But yes, I'm going to call it a night/day for now. And yeah, you have a great evening, and I shall hopefully see you next time. Keep it real.